The 2023 Northern Virginia housing market has been one of the most challenging markets ever. This year, the number of new listings hitting the market are way down, interest rates have been hovering right around 7%, and home affordability is the worst it's been since 1984. Yet, most homes this year still sold the first weekend with multiple offers and for above asking price. So will this trend continue into next year? Well, in this week's video, I'll share with you my bold Northern Virginia housing market predictions for 2024. Will prices go up? Will they go sideways, or will the market finally crash? So sit back, relax, because we're getting started right now. Boom! Hey everybody, it's David, your favorite realtor, and welcome back to another video. So how did I come up with my predictions? So unfortunately, Amazon did not deliver my crystal ball on time for this video, so I had to do it the old-fashioned way with hours of research. I read a ton of articles, watched a ton of YouTube videos. I was looking at numbers on my local MLS as far back as 2018, plus what I've been seeing being boots in the ground, talking with buyers and sellers on a daily basis. So these predictions will only be for the Northern Virginia housing market, not nationwide as a whole. As you know, real estate's hyper local, and we're one of the most unique areas in the whole country, as we're one of the most educated and affluent areas overall. So our local real estate market is gonna be a lot different compared to other parts of the country. So let's get it started right now with my first bold Northern Virginia housing market prediction for 2024 with inventory levels will rise by 15%. So without question, one of the biggest challenges with our housing market this year has been the lack of inventory. In fact, basically every single buyer client I helped this year, we had the same struggle. We would go sometimes weeks without seeing homes just because there was no homes to show them. So let's look at the numbers. So new listings to hit the market here in Northern Virginia between 2018 and 2022 was roughly about 40,000 on average. However, this year, only 26,000 new listings have hit the market. So new listings to hit the market this year are down 35% compared to the average of the previous 5 years. In fact, home prices would have gone down this year had the normal amount of inventory hit the market, but the demand was still higher than the available supply of homes. That's why home prices still went up this year. So why do I see inventory levels rising by 15%? Well, we had such a dramatic drop this year, mainly due to high mortgage rates. So a lot of potential sellers, they chose not to sell this year because they didn't want to trade their 3% mortgage interest rate for a 7% rate. Just doesn't make sense financially. So there's a lot of pent-up seller demand right now. So I believe a lot of sellers who thought about selling in 2023, they're gonna jump off the sidelines and get their homes on the market in 2024. Especially with all signs pointing towards mortgage rates dropping the second half of next year. But even if we get a 15% bump in inventory, we're still gonna be well below our average of the previous 5 years. So we still have a long way to go to get back to normal inventory levels. Now my next prediction for 2024 is mortgage rates will fall below 6% by the end of the year. Now, without question, the biggest challenge of 2023 for both buyers and sellers was higher mortgage rates, especially when you compare it to 2021, when mortgage rates on average was about 3.25%. So mortgage rates have been in that 6 to 8% range the majority of the year. So currently the average 30-year fixed rate is 6.75%, which is actually a huge drop from when we hit 8% back in October. So already mortgage rates are going in the right direction. So I believe that 8% we hit back in October was the top. I don't think we will see 8% in 2024. I believe the first half of next year, we'll see rates in that 6.5 to 7% range. Now the second half of 2024, that's when I believe we're gonna see a lot of relief with mortgage rates. I believe we're gonna bottom out at about 5.85% before the end of the year, and we'll probably stay around that range. Now the reason I see rates dropping next year is the Federal Reserve, they've been fighting inflation for the past 18 months or so. And the main tool in their arsenal that they have used was having one of the most intense rate hike campaigns in decades. So now with inflation more under control, the Federal Reserve, they've actually signaled that they will potentially drop rates up to 3 times in 2024. So once they start to lower the federal fund rate, this will help influence mortgage rates to go down as well. Now my next prediction for 2024 is home prices will increase by 3 to 6%. Again, this is for Northern Virginia only. Other parts of the country, they may not see the same 3 to 6% increase in home prices. In fact, other parts of the country, they may even see home prices go down. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, Northern Virginia is one of the most educated and affluent areas in the country. And in fact, we have the first and third richest counties in the whole US with Loudoun and Fairfax County. So there is a lot of money here. Now I know that's not what you want to hear, that home prices are going to go up 3 to 6% this year. I'm just a messenger, so please don't shoot the messenger. But just so you know, I would actually love to see a pullback in prices here in Northern Virginia because that would make me a buyer in this market. But I 100% do not see home prices dropping in 2024. So last year, I predicted that home values would actually go down 1 to 5% in 2023, but I was definitely wrong on that prediction. In fact, home values went up 3.74% this year compared to last year. And in case you want to know, the average sales price of a home in Northern Virginia in 2023 was $743,000. And literally every time I look that number up, it goes higher and higher. So why do I see home prices going up in 2024? Well, the first reason is lower mortgage rates will increase buyers' purchasing power, which leads to more buyer demand. Also, lower rates causes a lot of those potential sellers that have been sitting on the sidelines to jump in the market. And what do sellers turn into? A lot of them turn into buyers themselves. So potentially I see a lot of new buyers coming into the marketplace in 2024. Now, the number one reason why home prices will rise 3 to 6% in 2024 is simple supply and demand. Even with a 15% bump in inventory, it still will not be enough to satisfy the demand, especially with the increased buyer demand coming in 2024. And the buyer demand is already starting right now. Literally 2 days ago, a townhouse in Vienna, it was nice, and nothing's too special, listed at $1.1 million. My client submitted an offer on it, and we're one of 5 offers. I could not believe it. We went way above asking price, no contingencies, and we lost. And this is the middle of the holidays, so I can definitely see that trend continuing into next year. Now, my next prediction for 2024 is rent prices will stay flat. So rent prices did go up this year. Let's look at the numbers. In 2022, the average 3-bedroom rental in Northern Virginia was $2,800 per month. Compare that to this year, the average 3-bedroom rental was $2,900 a month. So rent prices went up about $100 per month, which is pretty much par for the course. On average, rental prices go up anywhere from $50 to $100 per month. But I do not see that normal increase in rent happening this year. So why do I see rental prices staying flat this year? Well, this year, a lot of potential buyers, they ended up becoming renters due to higher mortgage rates. Well, since a lot of those buyers turned into renters, now with rates potentially dropping next year, a lot of those renters, instead of renewing their lease, they're gonna become buyers in this market. So that naturally lowers the demand for rentals. Another reason is a lot of potential sellers, they're gonna choose to put their house in the rental market instead, because a lot of these potential sellers, they're sitting on 3% rates, which is like a gold mine right now, and a lot of them will be able to cash flow by making their property an investment property instead of selling it. So that right there will add more inventory to the rental market. Plus, I'm starting to see some trends with rentals sitting on the market. I personally have a rental listing in Herndon. Beautiful townhouse, brand new construction, never lived in. But on the exact same street, there's 4 other rentals. And guess what? All 5 are sitting on the market. It's like you literally can't give it away. So I'm starting to see more and more of this happening. And I see this trend continuing into next year. Now, I'm not saying rentals are gonna drop in price, but I think they're gonna stay flat overall. Now, my next prediction is home sales will increase by 12.5%. So nationally, the number of home sales is the lowest we've seen since 1993. And we have followed that trend in Northern Virginia as well. So let's look at the numbers. Between 2019 and 2022, the average number of transactions / sales happening here in Northern Virginia was 32,000. Now let's compare that to this year, where we've only had 22,000 home sales. So there are 32.8% less sales this year compared to the average of the previous 4 years. In fact, you're not gonna believe this. We had more home sales in 2008 during the worst housing market crash ever than we've had this year. I didn't even believe this number myself. I literally had to triple check this number. So why did the number of home sales drop by 35% in 2023? Number one reason is higher mortgage rates. You can see the common theme here with this video. So with higher mortgage rates, that plummeted buyer demand, which naturally lowered the amount of home sales that happened this year. And the big reason for the increase in sales next year is gonna be lower interest rates, because this causes a lot of potential sellers to go on the market and creates a lot more buyer demand. So a lot of people have been sitting on the sidelines in 2023. They're gonna jump into the marketplace, which will increase the number of home sales in 2024. But even if home sales actually go up 12.5%, we will still be way under our average of the previous 4 years. So next December, I plan on doing a reactions video to this video to see how right I was and definitely see how wrong I was. And as much as I love making YouTube videos about living right here in Northern Virginia, what I love even more is helping folks just like you relocate to the area. So if you're ever thinking about moving to the area, reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. You know I got your back. And if you want to learn more about living right here in Northern Virginia, check out these videos right here. They're gonna be great ways to continue your research. And I'll see you on the next video.